Then you got Ole Miss, Lindsay, averaging only 54 points allowed per game. You mentioned it. Something's got to give.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a really, really fun matchup. I mean, I cannot wait to see what happens.
Yeah, Ole Miss's scoring defense 10th in the NCAA, leads the SEC. Once again, Oklahoma without Reagan Beers, averaging nearly 17 points per game and 9 boards per contest. The All-American from Oregon State a season ago. So far without Beers. And Ole Miss turns it over to begin. Sirachinu threw it away for the Rebels. Ole Miss's sensational freshman to begin her career. And, of course, Oklahoma's starting 5. Liz Scott getting the start. The redshirt junior from Houston, Texas, averaging 6.5 points per game and over 4.5 rebounds per contest, too. But other than that, the mainstays and the starting 5 for the Sooners tonight. We mentioned Sirachinu. Tamia Sadler, transferred from Colorado. And Star Jacobs just got fouled underneath the basket. She's in her first season, too, with Coach Yo. Yolette McPhee-McEwen's led Ole Miss to 3 straight NCAA tournaments, looking for a 4th so far. Charlie Cream, him and I text, Lindsay. Charlie.
Good buddy of yours?
Yeah, great buddy of mine. He right now has Ole Miss in the hosting conversation right now. And that's been the goal for Ole Miss coming into the season because they've been to the Sweet 16. Jenny Baranczyk in her 4th season, 282 wins in her 13-year career, 90 so far at Oklahoma. Now, let's talk bigger picture here, Lindsay. Let's talk hosting, and they are.
Yeah, it was funny the way that worked out. Coach Yo was not really thinking about that until Star Jacobs mentioned it. She said, okay, if this is the girls' goal, then that's my goal, too.
He's with this Sooners team that returns 98% of its scoring production from a season ago, and that's without Reagan Beers, mind you, who so far Oklahoma's missing tonight. Both teams with 2 turnovers apiece. Somehow Sirachinu, Madison Scott, who will definitely be on the Ole Miss Mount Rushmore by the end of her career. Sadler gets the screen from Scott. Sadler on the drive, and she's rejected. Rejected by Beatrice Culleton, the Overland Park, Kansas native, 6'3" junior. Here's a 3 from Van. Got it. She's only averaging 6 points per contest against the SEC. She's the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, having a slow season. Chinu fighting for the offensive rebound and is picked up by Skylar Van. Raina Scott cross court. Verhulst on the drive. She can do that too, along with hit outside the arc. Chinu fights underneath, loses her footing. Offensive rebound by Star Jacobs and throws it away. Sahara Williams in transition. Culleton banks it in those last 2 meetings, Lindsay. I'm sure you can guess how many times Oklahoma turned it over those last 2 games.
My team? Look at me.
Can you predict lottery numbers, too?
I wish.
Asking for a friend. Jacobs with 10 left to shoot. It ends up in the hands of Madison Scott, who ends the 7-0 Oklahoma run.
Those are the baskets that Ole Miss is going to have to knock down.
Verhulst draws contact. No whistle, but give her 2. Verhulst with 4 points so far. She averages nearly 15 per game. She's second on this Sooners team. And if Reagan Beers doesn't play today, she was feeling under the weather. Verhulst is their leading scorer. Madison Scott has 4 points in 4 of her team's 5. Redshirt senior. 3 ball up in the air. It's good. Sahara Williams. Williams is coming off a career-high 27 points in the loss to Kentucky. And Scott misses another mid-range jumper. Nevaeh Tot in the corner, seeing her first minutes today from Columbus, Ohio. 5'3" redshirt senior guard. She's come off the bench in her last, now 4 games. Verhulst. 10 left to shoot. This is Williams. Sees a lane. Gets fouled. Banks it in. And so far without Reagan Beers.
Yeah, I like this play that Oklahoma is doing. They're getting Verhulst a lot of touches.
Todd-Williams down the lane. Jacobs, stick back. She gets hacked. That's over 3.5 offensive boards per game.
She's very hard-nosed, almost a bulldog.
And Noelle, too, playing in just her 14th game this season. She put in some good minutes at Vanderbilt. We were told she might see some extra minutes today because of that effort at Vandy. Todd knocks it down from distance. Her 18th 3 she's made this year.
That is an area where Oklahoma excels. They shoot such a high percentage because they take great, smart shots.
Oklahoma's opened this game 3 for 4 from outside the arc. They are a three-point shooting team. They hit 8.5 per game. Scott lays it in. A lot of outlets named Beers the top transfer in the portal last year, and Oklahoma landed her. Star Jacobs with a smooch. And they contested one at that, too. Jacobs up to 5 points and is one away from 1,400 for her career. Scott underneath. Liz Scott adds 2 more to her total tonight. She did not play 1 minute last year and is making up for lost time. Chinu in the lane, kicks out to Sadler. Scott taps it out, and Raina Scott pulls it in. Shot clock start. Zaya Van, the freshman, and sister of Skylar Van. Both the Van sisters on the floor. Oklahoma's hitting 69% of their shots in this first quarter. And a whistle comes in. They go to Verhulst. Van on the pump fake and step back. All money. Oklahoma can't miss. They're 10 for 14 in this first quarter. 24-9. The Sooners are booming in the first 10 minutes. Nevaeh Tot, too. Her mom, a high school coach now, but played for Cleveland in the WNBA. Spent a lot of years there, too.
Wonder if she taught her footwork, because Tot has some of the fastest footwork I have ever seen.
Down low, Jacobs fades away, and she's fouled. Thank you, Laurel. Yeah, the post play, too, Lindsay. We've noticed their height. Is it their length? What is it so far that you've seen early?
I mean, honestly, I think it is basketball IQ. They're playing very, very smart on offense and defense. They're either shooting layups or wide open threes.
Star Jacobs went 0 for 2 at the line. Don't see that often from Jacobs. And a whistle comes in and a turnover for Oklahoma. Oklahoma shot 10 for 14 in the first quarter. 71%.
That is unheard of.
That shouldn't make sense, Lindsay, but tonight it does. Chinu off the mark on the bank. Ole Miss just can't find the bottom of the net. And Iwala finally. Liz Scott on the handle. And a turnover. Williams throws it away, and here comes Chinu, the freshman for Ole Miss. He's been named SEC Freshman of the Week twice this season. Now it's Iwala downhill. Turns and fades, and one for Iwala. Christina Iwala scored 15 points in her last 2 games, also corralled 10 rebounds. She's having I know it's 2 games, Lindsay, but it all starts with 2 games, and if you want to have a run, Star Jacobs behind the back. She lost it out of bounds. Williams on the handle. She nearly threw it away. She wanted Verhulst. And Tot recovered. And Tot traveled. Jacobs side post. Todd-Williams with 10. Long 2. Noel fights for the offensive rebound. Kahara. Ole Miss has outscored Oklahoma 6-0 in this second quarter. Van on the drive. High shovel. Can't finish. Todd-Williams has numbers. Bounces to Chinu. Ole Miss is on an 8-0 run in this second quarter. Van. Around and out. Battle for the loose ball, and Oklahoma has it. Verhulst. Bucket. Sadler tries again. Tap back out. Todd-Williams tips it. Sadler, this time inside. Can't get it to go. Ole Miss is 7 for 27 shooting tonight. Ole Miss Miss the other way. Sadler a little closer to the basket this time. She smooches it in.
A lot of season left to play, though.
You know, once March Madness time hits, you root for everybody in your conference. But boy, that's tough. Oklahoma back up 10. Both these two have to clean up the turnovers. 15 turnovers for Oklahoma, 12 for Ole Miss. Chinu on the drive with 10. She's fouled. Oh, somehow gets that to go.
Coach O obviously a little bit frustrated in the huddle. Definitely telling Sahara Chinu she wanted her to get open more. But even more than that, I think she was a little frustrated with some of her bigs, particularly Awala. And in practice this afternoon, Coach O kept saying, get a job. She was telling all of her players this about the defense they would need to have tonight against Oklahoma. And she's just not seeing that tonight, guys.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Laurel. Lindsay, right now, it's 9 for 29 shooting, 0 for 5 from outside the arc. They're hitting just 30% of their shots.
Well, that is, Ole Miss is in desperate need of a player to step up and look to score like we're seeing finally from Chinu.
Just over 90 seconds to go until halftime. Culleton banks it in.
Same pressure on the outside. They're getting those easy looks and passes to the end.
Yeah, Ole Miss allowed 24 first quarter points to Oklahoma. The Sooners shot 71% in that quarter. Bounce to Scott. The floater goes. Scott now has 6 points. Scott has struggled, too, against Oklahoma in the last 2 meetings these previous 2 years. She was 1 for 7 shooting in 2022's matchup and 2 for 9 last year against the Sooners. Todd had a wide open lane. She misses. And the whistle intervenes. Ole Miss basketball. Vanderbilt was beat by these Ole Miss Rebels in Nashville last time around. Was fouled. And with that free throw, she's now at 1,400 career points and now 1,401. No shot clock for Oklahoma. They could really use a bucket here going into halftime. Feed intended for Williams, intercepted by Jacobs. 3 seconds left. Scott underneath, banks it in. Down 24-9 after the first quarter. Now Ole Miss trails by 2. At number 2, South Carolina. Bounce back against Georgia, and then the all-time most points scored in an SEC women's basketball game against LSU. 107-100, and of course the tough loss to Kentucky, 95-86 against the Wildcats, who were on fire against Oklahoma in the first quarter in that contest too. And Oklahoma just felt like they were playing catch-up all game. Well, this time they're in the shoes that Kentucky was in against them last game, where they as in Oklahoma, started out hot and on top. Foul on Ole Miss to begin. Limited Oklahoma to 7 second quarter points, the fewest amount of points Oklahoma has scored in the quarter all season. Skylar Vann off the mark in the mid-range from the baseline, and Chinu loses the handle. She's averaging over 3.5 steals per game. That leads the SEC. She's a freshman.
That is all smart and athleticism. She is so good.
Skylar Vann banks it in. A lot of points in the paint tonight, too, for both these two. Chinu looking inside. Now takes it herself. Draws the foul.
Feeling terrible or not, you know it is eating her up not being on the court.
And also for us, we were really looking forward to watching the AP All-American. A lot of our conversation with Coach Baranczyk was about Beers and the impact she's had on this team. Williams on the drive. And Todd-Williams strips Scott. Todd-Williams takes it herself. Chinu, stick back, and one. Ole Miss was looking for its first lead there since the first quarter when the game was 1-0. Verhulst bounces down low to Williams, and Williams is called for the foul.
To Oklahoma's turnovers, they haven't gotten many shots that second quarter.
21 turnovers for Oklahoma. Todd-Williams' three was rejected. Jacobs saved it. Chinu back to Jacobs. In midair, she finishes. Ole Miss's first lead. since it was 1-0.
And the fans love it.
Verhulst flips to Liz Scott.
That is also extremely hard to do. Just two ballers making a play.
Star Jacobs is 9 points, second most for Ole Miss this evening. Maddie Scott with a teardrop.
Yeah, I don't know what was said in that locker room, but Ole Miss has settled and they are playing basketball.
Verhulst creates contact, gets it back, and flings it up. We talk about being on the Mount Rushmore of Ole Miss women's basketball. Peggy Gillum is first or second.
Oh, yeah. Madison Scott is in good company with Peggy Gillum.
Verhulst hits the first. Scott attacks, and a whistle is on Ole Miss. Verhulst has 11 left to shoot, gives it back to Scott. On the drive. And Iwala, Vandy at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Followed by Wade Taylor, the fourth, and number 10, Texas A&M. Entertaining. I mean, night in, night out, the SEC's just been providing cinema every night on the hardwood.
It is definitely grade A right now, and tensions are high. There's a lot on the line for all these teams.
Well, it just means more. Liz Scott gives Oklahoma back the lead. And Iwala will go to the line, coming off an 8-point game on the road against Vanderbilt. She had 4 rebounds, too.
Ole Miss has done a great job of digging themselves out of that hole.
Zaya Van off the mark. Up ahead to Chinu. Chinu underneath. And the freshman Zaya Van turns on the Jets. Makes a move. And a battle underneath the rim. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow goes in favor of Ole Miss. Well, 39-39. 7 left to shoot for Ole Miss this possession. Chinu lets it fly. And Ole Miss is 0 for 8 from outside the arc. Here's the three. Knocked down. Todd-Williams says, let's slow the pace down a little bit.
Todd-Williams, one of the veterans on this team. Coach Yo always looks to Madison Scott and Kennedy Todd-Williams to set the pace. The teams really listen to him.
Noel thought about the three. Explores the baseline and finds Jacobs back door.
Relentless this game.
Jacobs has 11 points, and Oklahoma turns it over for a 22nd time. Chinu looking for Jacobs. Gives it to her. Jacobs couldn't finish. Intercepted by Todd-Williams. Ole Miss doesn't have numbers, and Toddy didn't care. And a clear difference between...
Now, Ole Miss, they need this one in a bad way, especially on their home court.
If you're a Sooners fan, how this game would be going right now with the AP All-American third-teamer from Oregon State on the floor right now. 30 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Scott drives, and free throws are on the way. They're also experienced, but not as experienced as Oklahoma. That's an insane amount of games on your roster. And those aren't transfers either. Those are players who have been in Coach Baranchik's system.
If you look at the last school that a lot of these players were at, it was their high school. They come, they're recruited, they stay, and they have that chemistry together.
Raina Scott splits the pair. Tied up at 43 in Oxford. Shot clock and game clock just a second apart. Samia Sadler looking over to Coach Yo, giving directions at the top of your screen. Feed to Iwala. Underneath. Lays it in. And that's it for the third quarter. Ole Miss on top of Oklahoma by 2. 24 turnovers tonight for Oklahoma. Think about the amount of possessions they've given up thanks to those 24 turnovers. 11 of them happened in the second quarter alone. Jacobs fights her way underneath, and Madison Scott couldn't handle the pass. Loose basketball. Williams loses it. Out of play.
I almost like that the refs didn't call anything on that one because it got a little rough, but you got to let them play.
So So the shot clock's under 10. Now 5 for Scott. Sadler lets it fly. And a foul on the rebound. This goes on Liz Scott. First foul in the first 29 seconds of this fourth quarter, 2 for Oklahoma. Todd-Williams gets it back from Sadler. Another little alley-oop to start Jacobs. Van from distance. And there's Jacobs with the rebound. Her 6th tonight. It's her per-game average. They're giving Jacobs some space. Now she attacks. Rejected. Verhulst told her no. 9 left to shoot for Ole Miss as they wipe up a wet spot on the floor. Scott to trigger. Zips it to Ewala. Puts it in. And 1. 4 Ole Miss Rebels in double figures. Ewala being the 4th. And again, this is Ole Miss's biggest lead. 6 points. Zaya Van comes in for the rebound and speeds up ahead for Oklahoma. She goes coast to coast and has free throws coming.
They're not giving them those easy open looks.
It's her 7th double-figure game of the year. And she splits the pair. Offensive rebound by Williams. She misses. Culleton tries. And Ewala pulls down the rebound. And a win tonight, too, would also be Ole Miss's 2nd win against a ranked opponent this season. Already 20 points off turnovers for Ole Miss. Make it 22, thanks to Madison Scott. Imitating that. I love to see that. The future of Ole Miss and Sahara already with a couple of points tonight, too. Verhulst. Stick back, she gets it the 2nd time around.
The Sooners have really been trying to get her the basketball.
Yeah, Reagan Beers feeling under the weather during warm-ups. And Chinu stepped out of bounds. Nevaeh Tot sees some pressure from Sadler. Verhulst needs help. Hands it off to Lexy Keys. Lets it go. Puts it in.
What a basket.
Scott misses. Culleton pulls down the rebound. Oklahoma can tie or retake the lead. Top goes to work. Somehow got it out to Keys. Verhulst underneath. Almost down. Gets it back. Banks it in. And 1.
Relentless and absolutely ruthless.
Scott, 12 points in 26 minutes this evening. She's 6 of 12 shooting. And Oklahoma gets back the lead on the 3-point play by Verhulst. She has 14 points tonight. Verhulst has 5 of her team's 9 points in quarter 4. Jacobs down the lane. She gets stripped by Verhulst. Verhulst spins out of trouble. Her nickname is P because she's a playmaker. And Christine Ewala got tied up with Tot.
A big chance from the free throw line, and they are a very high percentage shooting team.
Liz Scott drains both. Jacobs side post. 10 left on the possession. Ewala bears down, and the whistle interrupts. Free throws for Ewala could put a 10-0 run to bed for Oklahoma, and so far it continues. Pretty sure everyone in the building heard me say that because it felt the noise level just felt under, probably negative decibels, if that's even a thing. Felt like she was putting on 18 at the Masters, Lindsay.
It was very hush-hush in here.
Verhulst missed a shot. It bounced right to her. Here's a fadeaway. Couldn't get the bounce. Oklahoma comes away with a miss again. Liz Scott came away with the O board. Miss Scott with 8. Now Verhulst takes on Iwala. And Iwala stands tall. 2-point lead for Oklahoma. 4 to play in Oxford. Todd-Williams thought about it. Attacks instead. Tie game.
I love the aggression. This is the point of the game where if you get it, you got to look to score.
Todd-Williams averages 12 points per game, and she only has 4 this evening. Sadler is all over Tot, and she's called for the foul, where she's 10 for 10 this year. 10 made free throws this evening for the Sooners. And I get the death stare from Lindsey King. Don't give out my phone number after this, will you? 3.5 left in Oxford. This crowd is anxious. You can feel it. Sweaty palms time in the Mid-South. Scott back in this game, too, for the Rebels. She has 4 fouls. Sadler overfires. And the Sooners offensively settle in. Verhulst spins around Scott, shovels it in. What a play. 26 points in the paint for Oklahoma. Ole Miss has the advantage. And now 36 points in the paint. Under 2 to play.
Great defense by Oklahoma. Maddie Scott had that mismatch.
Scott has 4 fouls for Ole Miss. Verhulst from distance. Oh, puts it in!
Oklahoma hungry for this one as well.
Ole Miss has only lost twice at home this year, both to conference opponents, Alabama and Texas. Oklahoma's 4-3 on the road. KK Dean's back in this game for the Rebels. She can knock it down from the perimeter if need be. Instead, she attacks. Rejected! Verhulst told her no! 1:15 to play. And Verhulst lobbed it up ahead, but it was recovered by Keys. And Ole Miss is just trying to rip it away and force a jump ball, but instead KK Deans is called for the foul. And she doesn't agree. One of the Sooners goes down, and you're thinking, oh no.
Yeah, you don't see Keys down there to recover it.
Right. She knocks down both. And a turnover. Williams intercepts the pass. Attacks. Banks it in. And one.
You just take a look at that. What a playmaker. Williams has that aggressive scores mentality. She wasn't about to pull that out and eat up some of the clock. She was taking it all the way.
Rattles in the free throw. 65-56. What a turn of events late in this fourth quarter. Timeout Ole Miss. The Sooners have outscored the Rebels 22-11 in this fourth quarter. And Todd-Williams lifted that pivot foot. That's a killer. Chinu has 10 points. She's 4 of 10 shooting. Inbounds to Tot, and Tot is fouled by Chinu.
Oklahoma has done a fantastic job of slowing it down, playing Oklahoma basketball. Such high percentage shots, they're making them count.
Just 2 fourth quarter turnovers for Oklahoma.
Makes a difference when you have the possession.
10-point lead for Oklahoma. Williams high off the glass. Verhulst pulls down the miss. Right is staggering, and obviously Verhulst has the opportunity to add on to the lead. In their first season in the SEC, they face South Carolina, LSU in this stretch, Kentucky, and you look at that upcoming schedule, you think things get a little bit easier for the Sooners. Number 11, Kentucky on Monday. Arkansas is struggling this year, but Tennessee in Knoxville will be tough. Missouri and Columbia will be tough too. Oklahoma came into this quarter down 2. They're going to fly back to Norman with a 10-point win on the road. Coach Baranchik's got to be happy about this one. They snap a back-to-back game losing streak, and the 15th-ranked Sooners hang on. They come back in Oxford.